Yeah.
Hey, well, you know what? We'll start off with guys on this side today.
All right, great. Thank you.
Go ahead,
Sure.
Dave.
Dave, can you tell us about the look that you got with 8 seconds to go and how you processed that moment since Friday?
First and foremost, I want to reiterate.
And how you processed that moment since Friday?
First and foremost, I want to reiterate and emphasize the big picture here, getting justice for the families who haven't gotten them yet, people getting out and voting, and also sending prayers to the people of Armenia. I know that they're seeking peace. Right now they're under attack. So instead of keeping Breonna Taylor's name alive, George Floyd, Jacob Blake, and so many others, but also the people of Armenia, let them know that we're sending prayers out to them. Basketball-wise, it was a good look. You know, I had more time than I realized. Should have took more time. Probably rushed it a little bit, a little off balance, but we got a good look. We got a second opportunity, and you know, if I can get that play back again, I'll give in and get that shot back again. Trust me. You know, you're gonna make some, you're gonna miss some. It's part of the game. I've been in that situation plenty of times. I've made some, and I've missed some. Unfortunate, it was for us to close out the series. It's been great to win it, but any person that plays sports, any person that plays basketball knows it doesn't come down to that last play. It's not always about. It's never only on one play, and we could have did so many different things throughout that game. So many mistakes we made, so many things offensively and defensively, where we could have changed where it didn't have to come down to the last play. And no knock to them, they're a great ball club, it's an unbelievable team. They've been fighting, but when we know we can play to our potential and we play as good as we can, and we're capable, that it shouldn't come down to a one-play possession to and close the game. But so it was a good look. Take that look any other day. Instead of, obviously, you grow with mistakes and losses. You grow more. I looked at it plenty of times. Got a chance to see it, and you know it was a good look. Taking my time next time. I get the same opportunity. Better believe I'm going in same confidence, not shaking at all, worried. I have a lot of confidence in our group and in myself. So I've been in that situation plenty of times.
Talgoon?
Is there a process that you go through when you have a play like that? And have you gotten better at kind of digesting that over the years? And does it make a difference with the number of veterans on this group?
For sure, the process. It's all with your group. There hasn't been many times with this group I've been in that situation where it's end the clock, where I've been with Bron and figuring out, you know, the reads of what he's reading. But I've been in a situation with different groups end the clock. What we're looking for in the game. If there's a draw, who's the first option, second option. But you know, the process of just knowing when you get it, being confident, trying to know time and score, gotta be more professional about it. That's being ready. You know, I was on the sideline for a little while. I wasn't sure if I was gonna go back or not, but when we didn't get the stop we needed, came back in, gotta be professional, be more ready. And just knowing the time and score, knowing how much time I have when I catch the ball, and who's on the floor, and just reading the defense. But yeah, it's different with different systems, different organizations, but it's always the common denominator of, you know, when you get the ball, how you're gonna process the time, score, yourself, and you know how good of a look can you get off.
Sam
Danny, I'm sure you're probably going to downplay it, but is the hip slowing you down at all?
Man, no. There's a lot of things that we all have at this point in the season, this point in the year, bumps and bruises. None of that stuff matters. All the injuries that I have, probably we'll discuss those at a later point.
Sure.
When they do come to the forefront. But right now, they're not a worry, they're not a concern, and that's something that's on my mind, and that's not something I'm feeling right now.
A quick follow is you talk about the names you're trying to keep alive. You talk about what's happening in Armenia. The older you've gotten, I mean, that was a mature perspective on things. Does that help you when you miss a basketball shot, even on this kind of a stage? Does it help you?
For sure, because as a youngster, my whole life was basketball. It still is a big part of it. It is my life right now. But as you get older and you're more mature, you understand there's so much more to life. There's so much more going on in the real world. That's way more important than the game of basketball and competing. I said in third world countries, other countries, in our country, so much stuff going on. Like in just it's tough. It's been a tough year, but as I'm going on, and I've learned a lot. Playing for Pop, playing under Pop, learning about the outside world and how fortunate we are. We're actually in our own, metaphorically and literally, in a bubble. It's like Christmas every day playing the NBA. You don't have to worry about the real world and real issues. But as you get older, you get more mature and understand that there's so many other things going on that's more important that we need to shed light on and to help these people in any way we can.
All right, well, we'll take a couple on your end and then wrap
Okay,
it up.
thank you. Bill Orm?
Hey, Danny. You obviously have your a good head on your shoulders and are able to keep one basketball shot in perspective. But over the last 36 hours, was that harder early on? I mean, did you find yourself watching TV, like seeing kind of some of the conversation around kind of the way the game ended, or are you able to compartmentalize it kind of from the moment it happens and move on?
Being conditioned from before that moment to the social media that I was getting, it didn't change or phase any way, shape, or form the last 36 hours of my mindset. And due to the fact that because during that time and after the game, I was very confident in that and still myself. I know I played 22 minutes, 23 minutes. I left out, said I could have played better. Tried to leave it out on the floor. And we said we live with that shot. It's a good shot. And unfortunately we lost and we didn't close out, but we get another opportunity. And I'm not shaking in myself or in our group, very confident in our group. And right after the shot, I wanted to play another basketball game. But because I said I've been conditioned to everything that I've gotten throughout the whole year and throughout most of the bubble season, the social media, it was nothing new to me, so it didn't really matter. It didn't faze me, it didn't care, just ignore it. Those people's opinions don't matter to me. The only people in the locker room and on this roster are the opinions that are relevant and that matter to me. And if they're still confident in me and still encouraged and still believe in me and believe in us, that's all that matters to me. And we can get this thing done. And all the rest is background noise, and nobody cares about it when it's all said and done. All they care about is who wins the end of the day, end of the season, who's the last team standing. And if we can get that job done, all the other irrelevant negative noise, it doesn't matter.
All right, Danny, I'm going to take the last two for you. Tanya?
Hey, Danny, Blair posted something on Instagram about death threats. Is there anything that you have felt like you needed to contact security about related to that?
I haven't really I just block, ignore. I've gotten so many messages I can't even hit the delete all button because I guess my Instagram just won't recycle it. I don't know if it's so many, but I just don't read them. I know she doesn't get as many, and she doesn't have as many followers, so it's probably close. She can see more of it. I said, I don't pay attention. I had to ask her yesterday. I said, you getting death threats? She's like, yeah, you are too. I was like, I don't know because I don't really pay attention or care. Nor am I shaken or worried about it. I'm just not one of those type of people. I probably should be a little more paranoid or more safe about things, but I am safe usually. In certain scenarios, most scenarios, I grew up in Texas, so we grew up in a different type of household where weapons were allowed there. But I'm just not one of those guys that's going to live my life that way, worried about what other people think, say, or do. I'm usually protected. I'm usually safe. I'm usually okay and confident and secure in my own mind, in my own home. But if something does come up, I'm sure it'll come my way. She'll figure it out. She'll find it, or we'll see it. But it's a basketball game. People are emotional. Fans are emotional. I hope they don't take it that seriously. I hope that they're that passionate about voting or getting justice for these people who deserve the justice. We'll get some better change along the country. But it's a basketball game in the day, and I know that they're just taking out their emotions and they need somebody to blame. And it came down to that last play. And of course, I'm the easy target.
All right, Danny, last one for you. David Aldrich.
Hey, Danny. Along the lines of what you've been talking about, one way or another, the season's going to be over in a day or a couple of days. Is there something you can take, or you think the players will take from the time they've spent in Orlando, especially with regard to the social justice piece, that you think will be able to carry forward once you're out of the bubble, once you're back to playing in your own cities and your own gyms, and whether or not there's fans there?
I'd like to think so. I think that this time together, being here, even though we're competing and competitive and want to win, at this time coming together as a group kind of brings us back to that brotherhood, that fraternity, that we need to be one voice and use our platforms as best we can and use them as wisely as we can, not just for sponsorship deals, stuff like that, but for the greater good of the country and for our people, our communities, and other people's communities. We're the voice for them. So we got to use that to the best of their ability for them, for best our ability for their abilities and their um, opportunities, and so on and so forth. So I think that coming from here has helped, especially a lot of younger players who are or guys that aren't as involved in the players association or the voting or political aspect. You have no choice but to be in it here, and I think it opened some guys' eyes and brought more awareness to a lot of the guys that said weren't involved. We had meetings here where usually players social meeting, maybe 2 guys from each team, maybe 3 guys. We had 400 or 500 guys here with coaches and players that I've never said you'll never see that happen ever again before or after. To have that type of deal was huge, and hopefully so we can take that and move forward with something powerful in the near future.